my mousetrap. All I wanna do is convince you with my cheese. All I wanna do is be the coolest cat here, but I'll need some more super greed. Spend a lot of extra time waiting for the acolyte. I am gonna catch that fool. You will think I'm really cool. All I wanna do is impress you with my mousetrap. All I wanna do is convince you with my cheese. All I wanna do is be the coolest cat here, but I'll need some more super greed. Just watch me, mouse. Just watch me catch you. Just watch me, mouse. Just watch me catch you, catch you, catch you. All I wanna do is impress you with my mousetrap. All I wanna do is convince you with my cheese. All I wanna do is be the coolest cat here, but I'll need some more super greed. Oh, but I need some more super greed. Oh, but I need some more super greed.
Have you ever gave up hope, looking for a way to cope, all alone in a castle by yourself, knowing you were made to rule, looking like a royal fool, if you only had someone to help? We got to clean these rodents out. There ain't no way we're gonna let them run this place. I'll show them what this king's about. It won't be long.
Hello, good morning, MouseHunt. Welcome, Feedback Friday, May 26th. 26th? Yes, it's the 26th of May. 2017. How's everybody in the chat doing? Hope you're doing well. Whether it is the morning, afternoon, or evening. I'll say good morning, afternoon, and evening. Depending where you're watching. Hello. Hello to you as well. Hello, hello. Lots of hello. Hey. Hello as well. Hello, hello, hello. Look at all the hellos. Hellos and highs. It's a high amount of hellos. All right, well, today we're going to take a little sneak peek at the Bristle Woods Rift as that's starting to come together. A little bit of trivia, and as normal, Larry will have some rewards if anyone gets the answer correct in the chat, which it's pretty standard fare that somebody will get the answer correct. So I'll jump right into the Bristle Woods Rift this week. I have two monitors as well this time, which is nice. I can actually see the chat a little bit better, so I'm a little better situated here. Well, as we have mentioned on previous Feedback Fridays, the Bristle Woods Rift takes place in a Rift version of the Acolyte Tower, where the absolute Acolyte is experimenting with controlling space and time. So as you can tell from all the art, a lot of things have a time theme. There's a lot of hourglasses and sand for the hourglasses, a lot of cogs and gears going on. Hunters will explore the tower. You'll be moving from chamber to chamber by opening portals. Each chamber holds a finite quantity of loot, and once drained, the mice in that chamber will no longer drop items, but the portals will open up, leading to another chamber where you can discover more loot. So you're kind of exploring this very sort of endless tower full of seemingly infinite number of chambers. Get caught up with the chat as well. Some afternoon hello, some more hello, some late highs. What happened to the woods in the Whisker Woods Rift? On the Whisker Woods Rift, there's certainly some woodland creature mice. The Bristle Woods Rift, well, it is a rift version of Bristle Woods, but I mean the Acolyte, it's not too foresty there either. It's sort of the mist has taken everything over, and it's spooky there, but not too much of a woodland theme going on. You're sort of exiting the woods and going into the catacombs in the Bristle Woods Rift more than you're actually hunting in and amongst the trees. Yeah, in KDM, I'm feeling better now. I was sick, I think it was 2 weeks ago when I was last on Feedback Friday. I was just getting over a cold as well, so it also helps that I can actually speak today. Well, last week we were focused on the Acolyte Chamber. The Bristle Woods Rift was sort of something we were struggling with a little bit. We were iterating quite a few times. We finally found a version that we like. We're just fine-tuning it and testing it now, how sort of everything comes to a conclusion at the end as you face off against the Acolyte, or the Rift version of the Acolyte. Hubert says kind of a new labyrinth then. It has some similar vibes to the labyrinth where there's rooms that you're exploring. Kind of thematically, they're chambers instead of hallways, and there's something there to do, and then when you finish something to do there, you move on to the next. It doesn't quite have the same destination feel like the labyrinth where you're collecting clues and that's going to determine where you end up, where you go, but it's more about, I'd say more like the Sunken City actually. As you kind of explore things, the loot drops and the mice that you encounter change, but you have a little bit more autonomy, a little bit more choice than you would in the Sunken City about where you're going to end up. Stephen asks Tuesday in the chat. A little too soon to say whether it'll be Tuesday. We're kind of going to have a big afternoon here, a whole lot of play testing and smoothing things out. That might be a little bit of an optimistic estimation. Platinum base, asks new friend. No plans for a platinum base, at least at the time being. Is active monitoring required like the Labyrinth? A little bit, and I'd kind of say similar to the Sunken City, where you're going to want to check up and see what's ahead of you every now and then. That said, if you come back later, you'll just sort of have some choices in front of you, and you'll be ready to make the next choice and start the next phase. Is it a bit more of a point or a gold area? Will it replace Froma Rift as a go-to place for gold? Well, it's similar to the Froma Rift. It's another Grand Duke, Grand Duchess area, so it has the potential for earning points in gold is much higher than Duke and Duchess areas for the most part. Soon is the release date, says Dennis, yeah. And this is the Chrono Mouse. I'm not sure if Jacob drew this one live during an art stream, but that is the Chrono Mouse on the screen, but not the Acolyte. We'll save the Acolyte for the first person who captures. Actually, maybe there's a silhouette. Let's see if I can find the silhouette. Let's do that. I'm going to cover up the chat for a minute while I look at finding the Acolyte silhouette. Mice. Search Acolyte. Acolyte. Images. Ooh, there's a silhouette. I guess I could have guessed that file name. There we go. Alright, let's add a image. Where is that option? There's that option. Let's find this image that I located. Zoop. And resize this because it's the size of the entire screen. It's a little large, probably a little large. There we go. Slap that over there. Oh, looks beautiful. There we go. Oh, there we go. Expert arrangement. Zoop. So there's the silhouette of the Acolyte at least. The Acolyte Chamber itself is where the absolute Acolyte is hidden, not just out of sight, but also out of phase with time. So this kind of the time theme continues. This mouse is experimenting with controlling time and is hiding just slightly out of phase with our time, making it impossible to encounter. But hunters, when you go into the chamber where the Acolyte is, you'll be able to use his own device against him, pull him back into phase with time frame so that you can encounter him and then prepare for the final showdown. So it's a little bit of an anticipation moment when you finally find that chamber now. You summon the Acolyte, pull it back into phase with time, and then you're ready for the final showdown against the Acolyte. Now the way we've done loot for the Bristle Woods Rift is a little bit different from some other areas. We've pulled a lot of inspiration from how other areas worked, kind of came up with some new ideas based on feedback from hunters as far as how maybe the Sunken City works versus the Labyrinth versus the Warpath. The Acolyte's loot drops, they're a little more similar to the Sunken City, where there's a rare drop that's tradable and a more common drop that can be used to purchase the rare drops. It's kind of sand dollars and predatory processor sort of setup. The Acolyte drops a Rift version of the Mysterious Box, and depending on how many times you have captured the Acolyte, you get a different box. So at 10 captures of the Acolyte, you're going to get a bronze box, at 100 a silver, and 500 a gold, which that'll be quite the accomplishment if anyone gets to the golden box. The first time you capture the Acolyte will just drop a regular box, but sort of as you earn King's Crowns, the mouse will start dropping bronze, silver, and gold version of the box. And those boxes have a greater chance of finding that rare item inside. The silver, actually, currently in the current version we're playtesting, has a guaranteed chance of finding that rare item inside. And the gold will have 2 of those rare items inside. So we're looking to incorporate a little bit of feedback that we had from previous areas, where it's really exciting to have that rare item and you don't know when it's going to drop. But it's also frustrating when you've been trying to locate that item for a long time, you're not having a whole lot of luck, and maybe you're not the hunter who really wants to spend their gold, or you want to use your gold for something else other than a rare item. If you kind of stick with it long enough, eventually you will get one of those items and unlock the ability to always get one of those items every time you capture the Acolyte. Very interesting, nice, that is interesting. Box, is it openable or is it a trap? It's a openable box. So just like the non-Rift version of the Acolyte, it drops a box that goes into your inventory, and then you can open it when you are ready. And that's where all kind of the fun stuff is inside. So it's a little moment of anticipation after you capture the Acolyte, or if you like to hoard them up and open 5 or 10 at once. That said, of course you can get that item before you capture 100 Acolytes. That's just a nice little perk. If you stick with that area long enough, you kind of unlock that ability to farm loot from the area even better. Is it 100th drop box, or must you open 99? The crown that you will have for the Absolute Acolyte will determine which box it drops. On the 10th capture, it drops a bronze instead of a regular. So you don't need to capture it 10 times and then it starts dropping the box. On the same hunt that you earn the King's Crown, it will drop a bronze box. Collectors don't like to open. Well, you'll want to keep one of each then, I guess. What's the book on the screen? Actually, yeah, well, that's some of the rewards as well. I wanted to kind of go into a few of the rewards from the area. I know there's been a little bit of speculation. We dropped some hints a couple of weeks ago as well, and that book is one of the rewards for the area. Can we still get bronze, silver after the gold crown then? No, you cannot. So if you open up all your regular mysterious boxes, you will not be able to obtain another one. So if you are obsessive about collecting every single item, you will want to make sure not to open one of those boxes. Is 11 to 99 still a bronze box? Yes. Actually, 10 to 99 you will get a bronze box, and then on the 100th catch you will get a silver box. And the silver box is guaranteed to contain that sort of predatory processor-like item. And so something kind of an idea that we're throwing around here a little bit. It's been working pretty well while we play test. It's kind of good to see that hunters find that interesting in the chat, and it'll be nice to see how that plays out once the area is out in the wild for a bit. And just like everything else, every area sort of helps us or inspire us and make decisions and incorporate feedback from players for the next area. So it'll be interesting to see how incorporating a King's Crown into loot collection goes as that sort of safety net that we use sometimes. Now that said, there's another safety net in the area where there's a more plentiful drop, like sand dollars in the Sunken City, and eventually you can use that to purchase the rare item. Can you control in any way how you get to the Acolyte Chamber? Yes, while navigating those chambers, that's sort of where the strategy plays in, and where you're going to use your resources and where you're going to save your resources. And that's kind of where the mastery comes in, to see how fast can you get to the Acolyte Chamber, how efficiently can you capture it with using the fewest pieces of cheese, sort of thing. So the boxes are limited edition in some sense. Yeah, they're like other things. Once you use them, you can't get those again. So. Runes. There will be no use for existing runes. Typically, the rift areas we don't pull in the real dimension items, if I can call them. But that rare item actually is themed after a rune, so runes will definitely feel important in the area. And unless we change the name, it's called a time split rune right now. Let me see if I can find that, maybe to put that up on the screen. Brian's dancing away in the kitchen there. Oh, let's try to find this. Where am I going? MouseHunt. Let me make this a little smaller so I can at least see the chat out of the corner of my eye. Branches. Nope, that's the wrong one. There we go, this branch. And it is an item here. Our box contents determine when dropped or opened. When opened. And they're pretty static depending on the type of box that you're opening up. Hey Brian, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good.
Good. Who are you talking to? I know who you're talking
MouseHunt. You want to entertain? I'm finding an image here. You can entertain, read the chat there while I'm putting up a different image.
Oh, there's the... I've gone grey. I've gone grey.
Touch of grey.
Touch of grey. Oh. Anyway.
Image.
Say something. Hi, Eileen, how are you? Long time. When are you coming to visit us again?
That over there. And what else there? Oops,
Hey guys. Turako, is that how you say that? Ryan, Dustin, hey guys, nice to meet you. Axie, Ben Leet, Aurora, Squish, that's an interesting name. Oh, man.
Oh, I don't have that other item. Oh well.
Anyway, I'll let Dave get back to it. I just was reading.
That was good. I was finding an image here, so you can watch the chat while I found that image there.
Taruka. Where are you from, Taruka? Where's Taruka from? Roar of a tongue. We're waiting for a sponsor. Sorry, we're like staring at the screen. Anyway. Okay, Dave's much more entertaining than I am. So
Probably not.
Probably not. Well. So yeah, so he put together a nice list of things that he wanted to chat to you about, and yeah. Anyway, so yeah.
What do you think this is, Brian? Here, see, you're not too savvy on this area. What do you think that image is? What do you think that is? It's pretty.
It looks like a ring of something or other.
Ring, yeah.
There's a bit of a ring there. So,
See that? Yeah. Yeah. It's magical.
Yeah.
It's a rune. It's an amazing time split rune.
Brian, I have been at Dave's desk every day asking when the next area is going to be released.
See, I won't even tell him. He seems to have a problem with that.
So he's still working. They're working out the kinks. They're trying to make it right. So yeah, every day I'm at his desk. Say, Dave, when's the new area coming out? And all I get is soon, Brian, soon. So anyway,
We're close.
soon. Hopefully June. Yeah. Hopefully before Christmas, because we've got.
You didn't say what year though, so that's good.
Well,
That leaves it pretty wide open.
Steve said June
Okay,
2017.
Steven
so-
knows. He knows to put the 2017 on
Yeah,
there.
he knows. He knows you well now. So anyway, okay. I should. Who should revolt? Matthew, who do you reckon should revolt? We are the revolution.
Autopilot asks, why the X and why the 10 and the 13? There's just a lot of Roman numerals going on in the theme.
Yeah, they are. You're right. But this is why are there so
No
many
hidden
Roman
meaning.
numerals?
Well, because there's a lot of clock.
Yeah.
I don't know if you maybe 13 is on that because it's past 12.
Okay.
Because you're like right at the end. But with the clock theme, I think there's a lot of numbers 1 through 12 going on all over the place.
Okay. Good. Oh well. Okay. I think you thought Brian left Headcrab. No, I'm here until the I don't know when. Joel left Headcrab. So he left Headcrab, and he started a music business, and he's now hangs out with famous people. So I'm not joking either. So The Weeknd, and who else? Who's that?
Shawn Mendes.
Shawn Mendes and stuff like that. So anyway,
Oh, that pop culture.
I don't know these guys very much. So anyway, so he calls me every now and then, and so we still chat quite a bit. So anyway, it looks like you want to talk about MouseHunt. That's surprising because
Yes, I can. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I have to. Yeah. I guess I suppose so. Can do that.
I'm seeing a lot of Ronza stuff coming
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
comments.
There's a lot of Rodza stuff,
There's
but
a
we
lot
got
of-
that out of the way early. Don't know when she's coming. Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
standard
okay.
response.
I just wanted to let you know that I have definitely seen like an uptick in the kind of Ronza chatter, you know.
It's been a while.
So-
We don't know. We gotta kind of wait till we see that dirigible on the horizon. Ryan asks if you will need living garden essences for the area, not outside of crafting magical string. If you're looking to convert your magic essence into magical string, then you need some essence, which I believe is A essence, if I'm not mistaken, but I have to usually look that up. It looks so colorful. It is quite colorful. Maybe we can show the HUD as well. A little sneak peek at the HUD. I'll see where I'm at.
Where's the HUD?
Well,
Okay.
see if I can find that. Not that website.
I have to keep telling myself to stare at the camera, Dave.
There's a chair over there if you want one.
That's alright.
I was gonna do the rewards next, a trivia,
This is
and then I
good for my
think
back.
I'm sure that looks like nice posture. Whoa, oh, there's a lot going on. in
Anyway,
this
I'll
spot.
let you guys carry on with Dave. I was boring you a bit there.
Never, Brian.
Never, ever. Anyway. Dave, they're tearing down those walls this weekend. Probably.
Yeah? All right. Construction zone. All right. Well, we have a little screenshot of the HUD here as well, and then we'll give a little sneak peek at some of the rewards for the area. I'll do some trivia, and then we'll wrap things up. Maybe see if there's any more questions in the chat. So I'm going to get one more screenshot here. Normally I try to get the screenshots ahead of time, but I guess I'm having ideas as I go. Wait, not that one. There we go. This one. Whoa, that's big. Smaller, please. Let's put you over there. Move this rune out of the way. All right. No, why isn't this button working? There we go. Any details on the new base? We'll do that right next. So a little sneak peek at the HUD as well to kind of give an idea of what things may look like. Some hunters kind of pointed out some similarities to the Labyrinth, some similarities to Sunken City, where you're kind of exploring different areas as well. And those portals that you see on the HUD, that is what you can click to choose where you want to go next. There is a loot bar as well. Once all the every mouse you catch, or if the mouse you catch drops loot, the loot bar drains, and when all the loot is used up, then the mice stop dropping loot. The portals crack open, and you can choose where you want to go to next. Yeah, as Brian in the chat, not Brian in the office here, points out, Jacob drew all these HUDs live on Feedback Friday. Yeah, so you've definitely gotten a look at some of these as well. Can you confirm it definitely won't be released in May this year? Well, probably not. We'll see, though. I got to kind of wrap things up here soon, probably within the next 10 minutes, so that we can get back at it, because it's kind of down to the wire. It's a little bit of crunch time this afternoon. Magic string cheese heavy. Well, magic string cheese, just like other rift areas, it will help you out in that it'll attract mice that drop more loot. I believe it is called the Epoch Golem mouse, is a mouse in this area that has a particular fondness for magical string cheese. That said, you're also going to be able to use ancient string cheese, which I think you can see on the HUD there. I currently have 0 pieces of it in that screenshot. And runic string cheese, which I currently have 500 pieces of it there in the screenshot. That will also attract the Epoch Golem. And I think brie string cheese also has a rare chance to attract the Epoch Golem. And the Epoch Golem, see if I can say that a few more times in a row, drops 2 ancient string potions currently, so it's kind of a nice loot dropper. So it will help you out a little bit, but not, you know, a huge boost. The potions, the ancient string cheese potion works with both bring string cheese and magical string cheese, and you get a higher yield if you use magical string. So I'll help you out a little bit there. But kind of similar to other areas, you go through it a little bit quicker, or you can use brie string cheese and just go through it a little bit slower. So it can never be in the next 10 minutes. I assume you mean how fast you can loot a chamber. We're kind of playing with that quite a bit. That's one of the things I'm going to focus on this afternoon, is how fast that loot bar drains and trying to get in a sweet spot. Maybe we can get some feedback from the chat. How long is or what feels nice for how long you want to sort of camp out? How often do you want to come back and make your next choice? We were basing it, I meant to say, off things like the Sunken City, how long the zones are. The labyrinth, the hallways, I believe a short is 10 hunts, which is 2 hours minimum, and then the long is 25 hunts, which is 5 hours minimum. And I know from personal experience, at least my personal preference of going through the labyrinth, like a short feels kind of like I don't really want to come back any sooner than that, and a long is about as far as, you know, the long feels long. Yeah, 4 hours, depends, says Ryan there, yeah. Yeah, Jackson and Devil Child Mike 4, that's a troublesome moniker. Kate says 25 hunts. Oh, I'm missing a big one here. Dennis, sorry for repeating myself, but you were looking at stuff up. I suggested that empty boxes turn into collectibles after opening them. See, I think even if they do that, the collectors will still want to collect the full version of the box, so I don't think that solves very much. It's definitely not a, you know, collecting all the items outside of collectibles isn't something that necessarily gets reinforced too strong in the game. It's a goal that players set for themselves, which is a fun goal to set for yourself. But because it's a goal you set for yourself, I think it's okay that you have to kind of pay attention and know what you're doing to really do it expertly well. And that makes it all the more of a special achievement, knowing I only never got 9 of these boxes in my MouseHunt career. And I saved one. That makes it extra special that the game didn't go out of its way to save one for you. And I think that's kind of what makes that above and beyond, like collection to the max, even more interesting. Other responses in the chat here, we have 10 to 20 or 30 hunts. Yeah, so I mean, a lot of stuff happening in the labyrinth range. Every 15 hunts maximum, 25 to 30. 20-ish, 20-ish, 15 to 20, okay. Obviously, there's a little bit more variable nature to this than, say, the Labyrinth or even the Sunken City, especially once you get about 100% catch rate at the Sunken City if you have the School of Sharks, depending where you're hunting. Then you don't quite know exactly when you're going to have to come back. So it's a little bit more like the Sunken City where you move different distances depending on whether you catch or fail to catch a mouse. Depending on how much loot the mice drop, you will drain the loot a little bit quicker. That said, when you come back, the portals are open up. It's just a few pieces of cheese that maybe mice ate up. You're still getting points and gold. The mice are still worth points and gold. They just don't drop loot. 2015. Okay. Well, it's good to know like kind of the suggestions in the chat line up with some of my own feelings when I was playing through it a little bit. So right now, I think this is at 25 loot. I took that screenshot. I was playing around with making them a little bit longer. They felt a little fast to me. Would you say it's more passive or active area? Well, I mean, it has active elements in that you have an appointment mechanic where, you know, when the loot is drained, you're going to come back to make a choice. But other than that, you set it and forget it. So it should feel like maybe you're dropped anchor in a sunken treasure at the Sunken City, and you kind of know, like, I need to come back and take my anchor off a little bit later, but for a while, I'm good. If you had a problem or a bug, you can use the Contact Us button in the top. It's a little bit better of a way to help you out. In the Sunken City, you can be punished for failing to check back in time where the Labyrinth doesn't really do that. I'd say it's more like the Labyrinth in that regards. When the loot bar is drained, nothing bad really happens. You just stop collecting loot, and when you come back, you can choose where you want to go next and then start collecting loot again. So it's more passive, I suppose, than the Sunken City, where you might jet past something if you're not paying attention. On the HUD, the 3 chambers are 2 potion farming area and 1 boss area. What do I have there? Yes, actually, that's a nice variety that just came up randomly. The Runic Laboratory is where you collect the Runic String Potion. The Ancient Lab is where you collect the Ancient String Potions. And the Acolyte Chamber is where you face off against the Acolyte. Is the time something rune thingy a guaranteed drop? Yeah, on the screen there, that is a time split rune. And I think that's the name we're going with. And that is a not a guaranteed drop. It's a rare drop from the mysterious box that said when you capture the Acolyte 100 times and he starts dropping the silver box, there will be a rune in every single box. Is there a pattern to which chambers are connected? Not really, although you need to collect an item to make the Acolyte chamber appear. So you're powering up an hourglass to sort of pull the entrance to the chamber in phase with our time, so it'll start appearing. You can find where the Acolyte's hidden. Other rewards here too. I meant to get to rewards eventually here. I'm going a little long. The box you see, or the book you see in the corner is a special codex item, and that is a reward from the area that will double the effectiveness of the Rift Walker set bonus. That will work in any Rift location. It'll just double all the stats that you get from that Rift Walker set bonus. So you'll get double the luck, double the power bonus. As well as there's some speculation in the chat, because I think we hinted at it a couple weeks ago, a base that's more powerful than the fissure, although it will require the fissure to purchase. It won't consume the fissure base when you buy it, but it is a purchase requirement, and that base is just kind of based on the fissure design with the time and elements as well. So the trapsmith needs to be able to look at yours to study it before you can unlock that more powerful base. Also, a new Rift weapon that is more powerful than the Menorca, if I am saying that acronym correctly. I don't even, what would it stand? No, I don't even remember what the Menorca stands for. The mysterious, no, see, it's too ridiculous. A more powerful weapon, more powerful than the Menorca, which you earn in the Feroma Rift. That said, that's quite a long-term goal, so I think having the Menorca is still going to be very important in that it's going to help you in the Bristle Woods Rift. The power levels and the strength of the mice are also sort of set at a level that assumes you have the Menorca to sort of make that next tier of catch rate happen. So if you try to skip the Menorca, you might be able to do it. You're going to kind of have a little bit of a bad time. It's going to be a little slower. Gouda string, we are planning to bring that with the Tribal Isles Rift, not with the Bristle Woods. Is it as good as the Minnow base? No, it is not, but when you use it in a Rift, it will be much better when you pair it with that Codex, because it will double the effectiveness of the Rift Walker set bonus. So fissure will be consumed? No, it will not be consumed. It's a purchase requirement, but not a cost. Will there be a Bristle Woods Rift map? No, it will be added to your Rift detector on day 1. The detector is already fine-tuned to be able to detect most rifts, and it can definitely detect this one when it shows up. Does it require the Menorca? No. So if you wanted to, somebody could try and move or power their way straight to this new trap without purchasing the Menorca. But as I was saying, it'll take you a little bit longer because the mice are going to be kind of meanies to you without that extra power step up from the focused or the multi-crystal laser. Will Menorca be consumed? No, you do not need the Menorca to purchase the new trap. You can just buy it on, once you have all the materials. It's going to require a whole lot of catching the Acolyte, however. But again, that one's left up to hunters to decide whether it's worth getting the Menorca from the Feroma Rift or whether they will try to take on the Acolyte without that next step up in power. Most. I didn't want to rule out the possibility that one day maybe a rift location will need a map, but this one will not. Will the biomolecular be sufficient in the Bristle Woods Rift? It'll work, right? It's just not the optimal way to do it. It's going to be, you're not going to catch mice as well as somebody who finished the From Rift and has the Minorca. But that is up to you, right? You can, the red boxes as well, in some spots in the area when you're facing off against the Acolyte, can be a little bit menacing, so that'll be a little extra punishing if you do not have the Minorca. But again, it's kind of up to hunters to decide where they want to spend their resources and time and how they want to approach that problem. Crystal Tower. Good luck doing it with the Crystal Tower. Maybe today I'll spend 10 minutes hunting with the Crystal Tower just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure you're going to have a bad time with that one. The trap, it is more expensive than the Minorca. It requires a lot more points as well, which is another reason Grand Dukes may find that the point requirement's a little steep and they may want to use the Minorca to earn enough points to equip the next trap. Double check here. Oh yeah, I just minimized it. Let's open that up. Where'd that go? There we go. Let me go to the Trapsmith here. Yeah, it's more than double the cost of the Minorca. Over 500 million points to equip. I'm still kind of fine-tuning some of that. And yeah, obviously it requires loot drops as well from the Acolyte. It requires several items from the mysterious boxes so that you need to be capturing the Acolyte before you can purchase that trap. And it is rather long-term. We'll see kind of what happens, but I think in the grand scheme of things, if there were rift locations after this, I think some hunters might get the Minorca, skip this trap, and then if there was another trap then in the future, then they might go for that one. But this might be one that hunters maybe glaze over. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the future when there's more rift locations that are higher level than this. It is expensive, but the mice here are worth quite a bit of gold as well. So as you level up, things become more expensive, but your ability to earn gold also increases. Was that a hint not to buy this trap? No, I don't think so. It's just it's a good trap, and with those good traps come a little bit of quite a bit of time investment as well to build the trap. Is gold here better than the Feroma Rift? Well, it's about on par. Typically, the golden point earning potential is roughly based off the title requirement for the area. So as you level up, you unlock the ability to earn more points in gold. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, that's kind of a couple of comments in the chat. At the end of the day, it's up to hunters to decide, which trap they want to use and which one's worthwhile, which one they want to pursue, and which ones they want to not pursue. And I think that's part of the fun as well. If everything is very linear and this requires this, then this requires this, you don't really feel like you're making any choices. You're just kind of going through this scripted grind of like, I'm going to do this, to this, to this, to this, rather than kind of saying, you know what, I'm going to do this, not this, so that I can do this, and then I'll be here. Cool. And it's just a little bit more of an interesting journey, and different hunters will have a different journey to end up at the same destination. I find is a little more interesting than just cookie cutter, grind, grind, grind. How much gold for the new base? Where did that go? Still fine-tuning things a little bit. These are some of the details that sort of come together a lot at the end because as we tweak, say, the Acolyte chamber is going to work a little differently, or these chambers are going to last a little bit longer, and that kind of shifts things around a little bit in terms of time to completion. Sometimes things change a little bit. But, currently, the new base is upwards of 8 million, which would be more expensive than the Fissure, if I recall correctly. When calculating gold earnings for the From Rift, are you taking cycling by branch smashing into account? Typically, yes, we do. We kind of work it out based on the points of gold that the mice are worth. And then sort of at the end, when we're doing kind of what we're doing with the Bristle Woods Rift right now and fine-tuning things, we also Monte Carlo it, which is a testing terminology. I think that is maybe rooted in NASCAR, where you're just repetitively going around and round and round, and we just run through the area, run through the area, run through the area as fast as we can. See how many golden points we start with, how much we end with, divide it by the number of hunts we took, and then we get kind of golden point per hunt as a sort of metric to measure it by. And that'll help us also account for some variables like, smashing or poking things and red boxes, and we fine tune from there. Sometimes we'll dial up the pillages or tone them down if the golden points are a little bit off. Is the tomb exhumer found there? No, it's limited to just the Burrows Rift. You will not need undead Emmental cheese for the areas. That's just a zombie cheese, although there are undead. There's like lich mice here. There's no specific zombies, and that zombie invasion is very themed to the areas where there are zombies. Anything about instant access to the Acolyte realm? Well, I'm going a little long here. I should wrap up, but I'll show one more image, and then we will do trivia here. There is a charm, a fancy little sparkly charm. If I can find that. Not sure about the name. I may have to change the name of this charm. Just close that down. And add an image file, please. I'm impressed that the chat has actually worked for the last few weeks in a row. When I try to put the chat up on stream, it freezes eventually. We'll just add some more. This collage is just getting larger. There you go. There's a little fancy charm here, and right now it's called a Chamber Cleaver charm because there's a mouse in the Bristle Woods Rift called the Chamber Cleaver that will open up the portals early. If you have this charm equipped, it'll boost the attraction rate of that mouse a little bit. However, because the Chamber Cleaver is the Rift version of the Realm Ripper, you can also use this charm in the Forbidden Grove while it's open to attract a Realm Ripper mouse and enter the Acolyte Chamber before the Forbidden Grove closes. Now this charm isn't tradable. It's only a reward that Grand Duke, Grand Duchess, and Uphunters can earn from the Bristle Woods Rift. So as a high-level player, if you're going back and you're going to do the Acolyte Realm, maybe you're doing a map there and you just want to get into the Acolyte Realm to capture the Chrono or the Acolyte Mouse or a Lich. As a high-level player, you can come back and use this pretty overpowered gear and just force your way into the realm sooner. That said, if you're Legendary or lower than Grand Duke, Grand Duchess, then you won't have access to this particular piece of equipment to kind of maintain the challenge of that area for you. Yeah, that was a suggestion that we had 2 weeks ago, I think, on Feedback Friday. It was a player suggestion for the charm, and kind of ran that by everybody. Sounded pretty fun. This is getting a little far-fetched. I don't like it. Well, Nigel, yeah, it is. The theme is quite magical in terms of the Acolyte realm and everything. There's a lot of interdimensional time control stuff going on. So it's quite a different theme than some of the other more tangible areas where things are less ethereal. But I think that kind of comes with the territory of the theme of the area that we're exploring, where there's ghostly liches and magical ancient wizards and with the Acolyte and that. So this will definitely sort of play up to players who like things on the much more fantastical side of a story rather than more down-to-earth concepts. Will the Acolyte be more valuable than Minotaur Heart of the Meteor? Let me double check. It's a good question. Off the top of my head, I want to say no, but we'll check. We'll check out my... Did I close that? I'm bad at things. Oh, I gotta find it again. All right, I should bookmark this. This branch. All right, let's check out the mice. All the mice in the game sorted by gold. Heart of the Minotaur, Heart of the Meteor, and the Minotaur still take the cake in terms of gold, and the absolute Acolyte is probably currently sitting at 300,000 gold and 1 million points at the moment, but that's something that we kind of fine-tune as we go. So it ties the Minotaur for points, but does not quite come close for gold. And that might be an indication that you can get to the Acolyte a little bit quicker than, say, you could get to the Minotaur or the Heart of the Meteor. We do a Rift version of the Gauntlet. I don't know if Valor will get a Rift, but I don't think that's next up in the plan. I think the Tribal Isles would probably come next, but might take a little break from the Rift and explore some other areas before we do another Rift location. Cleaver Charm for prize today. I don't think it's in the game yet. So I can't hand it out because it's not actually live in the game. And on that note, that's a good segue to do the trivia, which has to do with the Forbidden Grove. So that ties in, and it is how many hours does the Forbidden Grove remain open for? $48 is too high. Number guessing coming out. 16 is too low. Hopefully I have the correct answer. Uh-oh. 20. Dave, Dexter 10 has the correct answer of 20. Unless I am horribly mistaken. I'm starting to think it might be 16 now. That was a lot of 16s came up there. But I believe it's 20. And the reward link coming into the chat. And look at me, I didn't even put the trivia slide up. I'm a slacker. And the answer, oh, I better edit this. I think this link isn't correct anymore. Uh-oh. I was incorrect, maybe. It's 16 hours? Oh, no. It's a 20-hour cycle. Dave, what are you doing? Well, 16 is correct. I guess 16 is correct. There we go. See? 16. I told you guys. It's right there. 16. Well, it's on a 20-hour cycle. 20-hour cycle. 16 open, 4 closed. So you can save some time with that new charm. No, Dave. Oh, I failed the trivia. If I get the answer wrong, does that mean nobody gets the prize? It's a disaster. Larry should distribute sandblasted metal instead. Oh no. Yes, and it is Undead String Emmental Potion is the reward on the link. And I think there's a few bonus pieces of Undead Emmental as well. So if you didn't quite get enough during the zombie invasion, you can top yourself off. That is not a hint. You do not need that cheese in the Bristle Woods Rift. It will not work. You'll just fail to attract. You'll be wasting it. But that's one last Undead Emmental String Potion until the next invasion. Which apparently we hope for a zombie invasion sometimes, but it seems like there'd be something you wouldn't hope for. But it's like, but they have good loot, guys. They have good loot. You have to tell us when Ronza will come. I don't know. It's up to her. I don't have any control over her merchant wins and schedule. Do we need rift circuitry for the area? No, you do not. I don't think this area has a use for any existing items outside of string cheese. I think anti-skellies might do something because a skeleton mouse is a mouse, it's a mouse. It's a mouse that was in the regular Bristle Woods. That said, you may have noticed as well the Tomb Exhumer dropped a Rift version of the Anti-Skelly, so that's a pretty good hint as well that the skeleton mice will sort of play a little role in the area, and you can repel them because they don't drop particularly useful loot. What about the tombstones? They will not have a use in the new area. They're just used to unlock the trap skin for the Tomb Exhumer. Well, not a trap skin for the Tomb Exhumer. The trap skin, the Tomb Exhumer, drops the tombstone so you can make the spooky looking skin for the Menorca trap. They do not have a use in the new area. Sunken City event, probably not any time too soon, as this area is just about ready to go. So probably won't be a Sunken City event in the too near future. But I have so much circuitry laying around. Well, one of the things we're looking to maybe do with the Archduke area is incorporate a way to use a lot of items from older areas to give yourself a little bit of a boost. And then once they're kind of used up, there might be a way to also use that boost, but you can kind of cash out some things. But obviously much too early to go into any detail, but it was one of the ideas, and I think we had some good feedback about that when we brought that up in a previous Feedback Friday, so we're going to explore that a little. Can the trap skin still be gotten? Yes, you can still obtain that trap skin if you have Undead Emmental Potion or Undead Emmental, String Undead Emmental. You can capture the mouse, it still drops Tombstone, so you don't need to capture it during the zombie invasion. You can only collect the potions during the invasion, but the cheese just works after the invasion ends. Lots of people got an extra 35 tombstones. It's just a bit of a oddity of how the loot system works, where it's sort of difficult to make you stop getting a drop once you have enough of it. So a little awkward, but it's just kind of how it works for the time being, at least. Any more events like double scrap metal events or gnarly? Nothing planned in the immediate future. Is string cheese buyable at the normal cheese shop at most Rift locations? I think all Rift locations you can buy all the types of string cheese there. Will the book codex be equipable or just grants while in your inventory? JJ asks. It just needs to be in your inventory. It's not tradable either. You need to go to the area and earn it by hunting down the Acolyte mouse. But then just sits in your inventory and it provides that bonus as well if you own it. Will the codex be permanent? Yes, it is a permanent ability that never gets consumed. It's probably one of the more main expected rewards that you get out of the area. Is the RIP Menorca a delivered joke to the new trap? Well, that's interesting timing, yeah, I guess. Tombstones for the Menorca, as it is about to be outclassed by another trap. That said, it will certainly serve you well while earning the new trap. Can we have an event for the Labyrinth? We did one not too long ago. How much power and luck does the new trap have? We're still kind of fine-tuning that a little bit, but it is higher than the Menorca. So it's not used, no, the codex does not get used up. You just buy it, it's a permanent unlock. Could you let us cash out some collectibles? The DLU, DHU. No plans to for the time being. Just a whole lot of sweet, sweet sugar that sits in your inventory. What's the % chance release this Tuesday? I don't know. I can't even guesstimate. The base's power and luck. Let's check that out. What do we got? I don't recall. Currently it sits at 800 power and 13 luck. Any new charm conduits allowing multiple charms? No, we abandoned the idea of charm conduits, and I don't think we'll do them. Any sort of upgrades to conduits. Any new auras in the work? No. Nothing planned in the immediate future. Gauntlet event. We were brainstorming ways to maybe how to improve the gauntlet, make it a little bit more dynamic, ways to sort of get little power-ups and stuff to boost your potions, or getting multiple potions in a row, giving you a little bonus potion for doing that. But that sort of is still sitting around in the idea bank. I don't know if it'll be a priority. Power bonus of the base. You have to wait and see, I think, when the area opens up. And things are subject to change as well. What's the base's location effect? It doesn't have an effect. It's just a really good Rift base, so it has the Rift Walker set bonus on it. Is parental obsolete now? I think that's safe to say. We're joking around about maybe using it in the Archduke area, but I don't know if that will come to fruition. All right. On that note, I probably should have wrapped things up quite a while ago because there's a lot left on our plate. So I better go back and help everybody out in the last minute, or finalizing all that last minute stuff for the Bristle Woods Rift. So thanks for joining me, hunters. We'll see you next week, either Jacob or myself. I'm not quite sure what the plan is as of yet, but one of us will likely see you next Friday, unless it's a holiday that I'm forgetting. No, I don't think it is. So have a good weekend. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next week.
Before we get them on the run. Here's what I propose we do. I'm gonna count on you, give you all the cheese that you could ever want. If you wanna be your best, put your trap up to the test. Buy some Super Brie and watch the suckers come.